Sweet and sour sauce is in the building. Yes. Yes. All right, we're about to go through every level 1 uncut support gem. Also, I really want to express that I'm not going to be showing you the best skills that work for these support gems. I'm just showing the functionality of the support gem and how it works, not which skill it works best in. Yeah? Great. All right, acceleration. This is going to make your skills projectiles travel 40% more faster. So with this one, my projectiles are going to travel faster to hitting the ground. Without it, with it. Ambush is going to give you 100% more crit chance against enemies that are on full life. It's pretty as simple as it says. Without it, you have the regular base crit chance. With this weapon has about 5% crit chance, but this is going to increase your crit chance at least when they are on full life. So at the beginning of a fight, you have more crit chance. It's 15. Ammo conservation gives crossbow attacks a 25% chance to not consume a bolt. So without it on, shooting regularly 7 shots, you're gonna go through all 7 shots, obviously, while without it saving a shot. But with it on, looks like it does the same thing. See, my first shot, it doesn't take my first shot. Oh, and it didn't take that second to last shot either. So you got a 25% chance for it to not consume a bolt. Simple enough. Arcane Surge gives Arcane Surge for 8 seconds after spending a total of 100% of your max mana on supported skills. So Arcane Surge is a buff that gives you 10% more cast speed and 20% more mana regeneration rate. So in order to get the Arcane Surge, you have to cast whatever skill you're using with the support gem enough times so that it spends a total of 100% of your max mana. So this curse costs 74 mana. My max mana is 353. In order to hit the max mana, my max mana, I'd have to cast this like 5 times. So 4. There we go. And then we get Arcane Surge for 8 seconds. So you have to cast the ability enough times to spend 100% of your total mana. It doesn't have to be back to back. It just has to be in general. So it has to be something you casting a lot, at least, to get the buff more often than not. So if I cast it once here, wait a couple of seconds, do something, lolly lolly la, cast it again. It doesn't have to be back to back. You can cast other stuff in between. But as long as that one skill that you have the support gem on spends up to 100% of your max mana, then you'll get the buff. See? Alright, Arcane Tempo makes your skills cast 25% faster. So Frost Nova without it, cast pretty slow. Put the Arcane Tempo on it, much faster. Boom. Bloodlust is going to increase your melee physical damage against bleeding enemies by 30%. But this will not cause your attacks to do bleeding against the enemies. It'll just increase your damage against bleeding enemies. So you still have to have your own way to inflict bleeding, and then you'll be able to inflict more melee physical damage against those bleeding enemies. But it does have to be a melee physical attack. So you can put this on your minions too and have your minions do more damage against bleeding enemies. But I put this on my quarterstaff, and so I'm going to try to get the boss to bleed and see if I can get more damage against her. So this is like my base damage without her bleeding. But if I cause her to get to bleed, okay, now she's bleeding. I'm doing more damage. So basically, you just get more physical damage, melee physical damage against bleeding enemies. 30% more melee physical damage against bleeding enemies. Break Endurance is going to give us a 20% chance to get an endurance charge when you fully break enemy armor. So I'm going to throw this on armor piercing rounds for the crossbow, which is going to break enemy armor, and we're going to see if we can get an endurance charge. It's only 20%, so it's a small chance, but it should give us an endurance charge eventually. Also, in case you didn't know, endurance charges enhance other skills. So for instance, I have on abilities on my monk that uses power charges. So if I have a regular slam ability, my slam ability is enhanced if I consume power charges before I slam, which will cause it to do more damage. So endurance charges do the same thing. Certain skills will tell you what will be buffed if you consume an endurance charge when you use it. Alright, there we go. Just broke his armor and I got an endurance charge. So this endurance charge is the small little red ball circling around this planet. This is a cosmetic that I bought that shows my charges better because they are a little small to see, especially amidst the action. So yours won't look like this, but they will float around your body and there'll be different colors. So endurance charges are red. Power charges are blue. I'm not sure what color frenzy charges are. I believe they might be green or something. But it did take a while for me to get their endurance charge because it's only a 20% chance. Brutality is going to cause your skills to deal 35% more physical damage. Now, mind you, this will also cause the skills to deal no chaos damage and no elemental damage. So it literally just buffs physical damage. You won't be able to do any chaos or elemental. So if I put this on a chaos skill, that skill will not do any chaos damage. It would only do damage if it does physical damage. The same for any elements like fire, ice, lightning. If I put it on those skills, it will not do that elemental damage. It'll only do physical damage. So like crossbows, melee weapons like hammers and staffs, maces, things like that. Anything that has physical damage, but no elemental, no chaos. Bursting Plague causes poisoned enemies to gain plague over time. It adds 200% of damage per second to the enemy as plague, up to maximum of 10% of their max life. And it says that they explode in a plague burst on death. So, let's put that on my poison arrow. I'm going to show you what it looks like without it on. See if we can... So that's without it. He just kind of fell back. And then let's put it on for this guy. Look at him kiting me. Look at him dodging me, bro. Oh, he exploded. Let's try a bigger target. Yeah, he exploded. Nice. It's subtle, but it's there. It's definitely not a huge explosion. And when you spam it and just hit him, like the poison already kind of does like a little AoE when you splashing it. So it's definitely very subtle. Ugh, you seen the maggots? Ew, look at the maggots. Wow, this game. Chain is gonna cause supported skills to chain +1 times, 100% more times, meaning 1 extra time. I put this on my bow shot, which doesn't chain at all, and putting this on allows it to chain once. So every arrow it's going to chain, meaning the arrow is going to redirect to another target after hitting an enemy. So it's kind of like bouncing off or like ricocheting between enemies. So you can see as I use it, it's bouncing off of different enemies. And so you just put this on skills that can chain, and it'll cause it to chain even more an extra time. Or you can put it on something that doesn't chain at all, and then it'll chain. Clarity is going to give you 30% increased mana regen while the supported skill is active. So I put this into my persistent buff Arctic armor, which is always active. And we're going to see how it looks with it on and then without it. I'm going to pop this curse 3 times. And then compare it to without it, popping it 3 times as well. And see how fast it goes up comparatively. So Cold Infusion works the same as Lightning Infusion and Fire Infusion. It's the same premise as I mentioned in those support gems, but basically for Cold Infusion you get an extra 25% of damage as extra cold damage, so you can either buff a cold skill or you can put this on a different element and use it to apply multiple elements on one skill, and it'll just nerf the other two skills that specific skill doesn't have. So again, I put this on Lightning Arrow and it'll give me some cold damage on this Lightning Rod while nerfing my lightning damage a bit. So you can see I'm inflicting a little bit of freeze buildup with this Lightning Rod. You can see the percentage going up, but I'm just doing a little bit less lightning damage, so I can still build up both elements while just not doing as much lightning damage. Combo finisher is gonna cause a skill to need 5 combo in order for you to use it. So instead of my skill being ready to use immediately, I put this support gem on and it's gonna say 0 and I can't use it until I have 5 combo, but I'll get 40% extra damage when I build up the combo. Also, the skill, you won't be able to use it anymore if you haven't built any combo within 8 seconds. So you lose your combo after it's been 8 seconds if you're not building any combo up. So we're gonna build up the combo with my Tempest Fury, whatever it's called, Flurry. And I should get combo charges and then I'll be able to use my Storm Wave. There we go, 5, and then I'm able to use it. But that's it, you get 1 charge and then it's back at 0. Gotta build up combo again every time, but it does 40% more damage. And also, so a combo is built up by successfully striking enemies. So typically with like something like a basic attack, or something you can just use to build up combo just by hitting enemies. So how do you say this? Comorbidity? So whatever skill you add Comorbidity to, it will allow that skill to apply more poison, but it will have 30% less poison duration. So it'll apply more poison, but it won't last for as long. So I'm gonna use Poison Burst Arrow that applies poison without the gem and shoot this guy. And that's how much damage it goes. It's pretty slow, and it lasts for maybe 3 seconds. Oh, he's following me. So then if I put the gem on, it won't last for as long, but it'll do more poison over time. So let's see. Way more for sure, but it goes away faster for sure. So Concentrated Effect is going to make your skills have a smaller AoE by 50%, but it's going to do 40% more damage. So I'm going to throw this on my Tempest Bell. I'm going to show you the AoE before and after. So this is how it looks base. And that's like the AoE size. It's already kind of small. So we throw this on here and build it up, and it's going to make it even smaller, but it's going to do more damage. So look at that. Oh my goodness, that AoE is tiny. So you're going to have to throw that right on the boss. So I'm just going to plop this down. Plop this down on this boss. Smack him around a bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna put this gem back on. Okay. We gotta put it right on his head. Yeah, it's definitely chunking him. It's definitely chunking him. Okay, so Conduction gives supported skills 100% more chance to shock. So first we're gonna test it without the gem and then with the gem. Okay, without it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still no shock. So it has a chance. Oh, there we go. 6 shot, 20%. So it has a chance to shock, obviously, but the chance scales off of your damage. Let me kill him and explain a little bit. So the more lightning damage you deal, the higher the chance. So obviously, you know, I probably don't have a ton of that, but this is just to show you what the gem does. Okay, so controlled destruction is going to allow you to do 30% more damage with hits and ailments, that being bleeding, ignite, and poison, but you will not be able to deal critical hits. So this could work with any build other than a crit build. If you don't care about crit chance and critical hit damage, then you can definitely run this. But if you care about that, do not run this support gem. So Corrosion is gonna support poison skills, causing the poison that it applies to also break enemy armor, equal to 80% of the poison damage you deal. So I'm just gonna put this on the poison burst arrow, and my arrow shots should break armor, and you'll see it pop up at the top of their health bar too. And there's even a sound notification after you break their armor as well. Here we go. All right, so this guy, his armor is going down. It's going up 33. So as I apply the poison, it's going up. It's at 60. Oh no, I'm gonna die. I shouldn't have let all them spiders follow me around. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Oh, nice. Okay. Take 2. Applying armor. 30, 40, 50. There we go. It broke. And it shows it visually too. That's cool. So now his armor's broken. Boom. And it made the sound notey. And it just continues to apply as you apply poison. Just sick. Corrupting Cry is going to support war cries, causing them to inflict corrupted blood on enemies in the AoE. So Corrupted Blood is a debuff that deals physical damage over time and can stack up to 10 times. So this is going to cause your war cries to inflict corrupted blood, but your war cries are also going to have a 30% less area of effect. And Corrupted Blood will deal 25% of your strength as physical damage per second. The whole duration is 5 seconds of Corrupted Blood. So this is what the AoE looks like without Corrupting Cry. And then we're going to put it on. And you'll be able to see when you inflict the corrupting blood on enemies. There'll be like a little blood icon around them. So this is with it on. Definitely smaller, but that's the corrupting blood effect that you see. And then once it's over, it goes away. But also, just to be clear, corrupted blood is separate. It's entirely separate from bleeding. Even though I know it has blood, corrupted blood is not bleed. And is not affected by any stats related to bleeding. So, yeah. Crescendo is going to support skills that can perform a final strike, causing that final strike to be able to be performed twice in a row. So this Tempest Flurry that I have on looks like this without it. And that lightning strike at the end, that's the final strike. That was the final strike. But you put on Crescendo, and then you can hit that final strike twice. Like that. You get to do two final strikes back to back. Boom. Boom. And there's no penalty for it, which is cool. You just get to bust them upside the head twice. Decaying Hex is going to cause your curse skills to deal 30% of intelligence as chaos damage per second for 8 seconds. So my intelligence is at 71. 30% of 71 is 21. So 21 damage every second for 8 seconds. 21 times 8 is 168 damage. 168 damage for one curse. That's chaos damage, by the way. So put that on him. And oh my goodness. Well, he's stinky. Is that the chaos damage? Those little stinky armpits. Okay. We popped it on him. Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it. Because without it, without it, they don't have that same ability. And I'm dead. But it doesn't show up as green without it, so that's definitely it. It just doesn't show up on the health bar, I guess. So Deceleration is a support gem that makes your projectiles travel 30% slower. So with Frostbolt, they go pretty fast. But once I put the Deceleration on it, they go way slower, 30% more slower. Deep Freeze makes freeze duration longer, 50% increased freeze duration. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Okay, so then we put it on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, it was definitely longer. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 50% more. Half of 4 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. Makes sense. Double Barrel is going to support crossbow ammunition skills, causing them to load an additional bolt, but you're going to reload 30% less faster. So your reload speed is going to be slower, but you get an extra shot. Mind you, this support gem does not work with the regular crossbow shot. The regular crossbow shot has 7 rounds, and I tried it, and it doesn't give me 8. It keeps 7. It also doesn't work with grenade skills. So we're using the fragmentation rounds. Without it, this is the reload speed. You only get 1 shot. And then with it, you get 2 shots. Hello? Oh, I put the wrong. I was gonna say, here we go. So with it on, you get 2 shots, but a slower reload speed. Boom. That was awkward. Elemental armor is pretty simple. It gives your minions 30% to all elemental resistances. So that includes fire, cold, and lightning, but not chaos, because it's only elemental resistances, and chaos is not an element. Encumbrance causes supported skills to have a 15% increase in slow magnitude. So any slow that is on that skill is going to be more powerful with the support gem. So I'm going to use the vine flower thingy, which slows already, and then put the gem on it to see if it slows even better. So let's group these guys up. Pop a vine arrow. And they're pulling away kind of fast. So if I put this encumbrance and then try to group them up again. Please don't kill me. It's definitely, I don't know, I feel like it was hard to see. I was all like surrounded and whatnot. It seems to be better though. Like it's holding them together better than it was originally. Now let me take it off. Just to try to test it again. They definitely pull away way faster without it. Energy barrier is going to cause your energy shield to recharge immediately and not be interrupted by any damage for 2 seconds, only if you've been stunned while using the skill that you put the support gem on. So let's say I put energy barrier on some type of movement skill like a leap or on my bell, and then as I'm using that skill I get stunned. This is going to cause my energy shield recharge to begin immediately, and it won't be interrupted by any further damage for 2 seconds after I've just gotten stunned. So just a good way to help with survivability in case you get stunned while popping a skill. Envenom is a support gem that gives your skill a 60% chance to poison on hit, which is pretty simple. You throw this on anything you want and it has a 60% chance to poison on hits with it. So I threw this on a regular bow shot that doesn't have any chance to poison. And we're gonna run around and see how long it takes to poison enemies with this support gem on. If I go the right way. All right.
Meet your end.
Oh, I apply poison to him. There we go. So yeah, you just throw this on and it has a 60% chance to apply poison on hit. So Eternal Flame is going to cause your skills to have a longer ignite duration, 100% increase ignite duration, but they'll have a 25% less chance to ignite. So I throw this on my Firebolt, and the base duration for ignite is 4 seconds. So it just deals fire damage over time. It lasts for 4 seconds. That's what ignite does. And with this on, you'll have a less chance to ignite, but the duration will be longer, about like 6-7 seconds instead of 4 seconds. You'll just have a smaller chance to ignite, but a longer duration. So more damage over time and just less chance of it happening. Execute is going to cause supported skills to deal 40% more damage with hits against enemies that are on low life. And low life is 35% of its maximum life or less. So essentially, Execute just helps you get extra damage when an enemy is low on life and closer to being dead versus full on life in the first half of the fight. So you kill enemies faster when they're almost dead. So Expanse supports skills by making their AoE 50% bigger, but it adds a 6-second cooldown to them. So something like Ice Nova has a regular AoE about this size, but then when you add Expanse to it, it's way bigger, but now I have a 6 seconds I have to wait before I can pop another one. Fast Forward is going to cause your skills to have a 30% less duration. So I put this on my Tempest Bell, which has a base duration of 6 seconds, and this support gem should bring it down to about 4 seconds. So let's get my bell and see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds. And if I take it off, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So you just lose 2 seconds in duration with the support gem. Fire Infusion is going to give your attacks 25% of damage as extra fire damage, but it will also cause those same attacks to deal 50% less cold and lightning damage. So this support gem can be really good for you to either just buff a fire ability to deal extra fire damage, or you can make an ability hybrid, causing it to deal fire damage and cold, or fire damage and lightning, but it'll just nerf your cold or lightning damage if you're trying to do that. So if I throw this on this lightning rod, it'll deal less lightning damage, but it will also proc fire damage on top of that. So it can make it a little hybrid if I want to. It's really up to you how you want to use the skill gem. It's just how you balance it and with your skills, if you want to kind of go off meta or hybrid. So see, it inflicts a little bit of fire damage on top of the lightning damage. So it's a little bit of both if you want to go that way, or you can just completely buff a fire ability to deal. See, look there, it's implying fire and lightning. So you either put it on as a hybrid to try to deal multiple and just nerf one element a little bit, or just spec it into one element and buff your damage in that element. Fist of War is a support gem for slams, causing attacks with the slam to be ancestrally boosted. And ancestrally boosted means the skill has 20% more damage and AoE. So I threw this on the Vaulting Impact skill, and without it, this is how the AoE looks. And with it, I should get 20% more AoE and more damage. But this can only happen once every 6 seconds, the ancestrally boosted. Fortress is simple. It makes your walls cast in a circle instead of a line, but it deals 50% less damage on hits. So something like Flame Wall that casts in a line will instead cast in a circle. Like that. Frost Nexus is gonna create chilled ground for 4 seconds when you freeze an enemy. There we go. There go the freezing ground. Nice. So I froze the bugs and it created freezing ground on the ground for 4 seconds. Or chilled ground. I'm sorry. And chilled ground chills those standing in it and lasts for 6 seconds by default. So there you go. Freeze an enemy, get chilled ground for 6 seconds. So Glaciation causes skills to do 50% more freeze buildup. So we're going to use my Frostbolt, see how long it takes enemies to get frozen with that gem and without it. Obviously without it first. And we're going to do this big guy here. 2. So two for him. But I do have like a build surrounding like freeze and whatnot. That one freezed immediately. That's good enough for me. That's with the gem on. So Heightened Curse basically just increases the effect by 25% of any curse that you put this support gem on. So I have on Hypothermia, which makes cursed enemies have minus 32% to cold resistance. And this is going to add an extra 8. So then it'll be minus 40% cold resistance. So let me take it off and show you. So this hyena, curse him. Wrong button. Oh, rip. Okay, here we go. This big guy. Curse him. Minus 32%. Then we put the hypothermia on. Oh, no. And we wait for that to go down a little bit. All right, then we curse him again. And it's minus 40%. Perfect. It increases your mana cost by 140% as well. I did not peep that at first. All right, Hourglass gives you 40% more damage, but adds a 10-second cooldown to your skills. So I'm taking this skill that doesn't have a cooldown, and now when I use it, I can't use it for another 10 seconds. See there?
I'm unable.
I am unable. Even though I have the charge to use it. 40% more damage though. Ice Bite is gonna give you 35% extra damage as cold damage for 3 seconds upon freezing an enemy with the supported skill. So I'll put this on Wave of Frost, which has 180% more freeze buildup, so we can get the freeze off and get the damage buff. He's finna kill me. Almost frozen. One more. One more. There we go. There we go. There's the 3 seconds of cold damage. Boom. Fire. Took a while, but we got it. Ignition is gonna make it so any skill you put this on, it has 100% more chance to ignite. I'm gonna use Firebolt on this boss and see how long it takes to ignite him without it, and then with it. So that's what, 5 oh my goodness. It's like 10 shots right there. I lost count, but it's definitely taking a while. And he got frozen, but not ignited. That's wild. take that though. I'm not counting no more. Oh, there we go. Freaking halfway through his health bar, it took to ignite. Halfway through his health bar, it took to ignite. So now I put it on. Let's see how long it takes now. Take two. There we go. Already ignited them in like 6 shots. Already. Again. Twice. Twice. Already. I think that says enough right there. This isn't a fire build. I just put on a regular fire ability, auto tag, just to test the ignition and how long it takes. Impact Shockwave is gonna create an aftershock when you heavy stun an enemy, dealing that same damage to enemies within 1.4 meters of the enemy you just heavy stunned. So we're gonna try it out and see. I hope that the aftershock is visible too, which will be nice. So I'm gonna build up the stun meter with my Siphonous Strike and then hit him with a heavy stun. And then see if it... Hold up, wait. I gotta hit her, let me hit her.
Good night.
No, I didn't see any shockwave. I'm actually not sure. Oh, I kind of see it. It was kind of like a shockwave. I seen it there. Very subtle. I'm being body blocked. Okay. I seen the poof of air. But I don't know if that was the heavy shockwave or not. And I have it on. Wow, these guys swarm you. Yeah, see, I seen it on that big guy. My game just crashed. Impending Doom supports curse skills, causing them to trigger Doom Blast once the curse ends. I don't know what Doom Blast is, but we're finna see what it looks like. Alright, pop the curse. And let's see. After it expires, so I guess when the curse is over. Oh, there it is. You seen that Doom Blast? I wonder what the Doom Blast does. Maybe it's just extra damage. So it's after the curse effect is over, not after the curse, like little icon. There it is. Oh, that's nice. So it does actually say what Doom Blast is. If you click over to the next tab, it deals chaos damage in an area around the previously cursed enemy, equal to 15% of your current mana. Interesting. So the more mana you have, the more chaos damage you'll deal, especially if you spec'ing into chaos damage too, which is nice. Innervate is going to give us 35% of damage as lightning damage for 3 seconds after killing a shocked enemy with the supported skill. So we're going to kill a shocked enemy with this skill that I put the support gem on, and the buff should pop up on the top where you get 3 seconds of 35% lightning damage. Okay. Boom. There you go. You're dealing additional lightning damage. And it shows up. It's only for 3 seconds, so you kill a shocked enemy with it, you get 3 seconds of extra lightning damage. So Inspiration makes it so your skills cost less, 40% less cost on any skill you put this on. So for this curse, it costs 81 mana. And you can see in the bottom right, I have 322. I use it, and I go to 242, minus 81. But I put this on, and it should knock that down to use less. 322 to 280. What was that? 280 something. 280. 280 versus... $240. Yeah, that's half, isn't it? That's 40. I think. I'm not good at math, but it clearly works. Jagged Ground supports slam skills, causing them to have a 50% chance to create Jagged Ground. And Jagged Ground just slows the movement speed of enemies in its area by 20%. And also, the Jagged Ground will only last for 4 seconds. So I'm going to throw this on Vaulting Impact, because it's a slam skill, as you can see right here. And try to get Jagged Ground. 50% chance. I don't know what it looks like either. Oh, that's what it looks like. That actually like jagged. Yeah, I think that's it right there. Those little rocks. Yeah, he's pooping out bugs. There we go. There go the Jagged Ground. Okay. Because without it... Is that Jagged Ground again? Back to back? There we go. Without it, it doesn't show anything. Lacerate is another simple support gem that has a 30% chance to inflict bleeding on any skill that you put it on. So again, I put it on my regular bow shot. And we're just going to see if we can cause some bleed. 30% chance is obviously way lower, so it's not as high of a chance that they'll bleed. Oh, but there you go. After 2 shots. There you go. Some more bleed there. Perfect. Oh, 2 and 1. Let's go. Nice. So with Last Gasp, it supports your minion skills, making it so your minions die 4 seconds after their life is reduced to 0. So they like continue fighting for an extra 4 seconds. So let's check it out and see when their health is gone. I don't know if this will be enough to kill them though. They're getting pretty low. Oh, so yeah, they're still fighting. They turn like into spirit warriors. That's cool. So Lasting Shock is going to give our skills 100% increased shock duration, but it's going to make it have 25% less chance to actually shock. So I threw this on my Tempest Flurry, which sends down a shocking bolt on the final strike and try to shock a boss before I put the skill gem on and after, see how long it takes and see how long the duration of the shock is too, because base shock duration is 4 seconds, I believe. Yeah, 4 seconds by default. All right. There we go. Is that the shock? Boom. That was the shock. That was the shock with one combo. So now let's put the skill. Oh, snap. Let's put the skill gem on. Support gem, I mean. Longer shock duration, but less chance. Okay. Wow, he got shocked immediately. So we still got it on. 25% less chance to shock. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's kind of like 6 seconds he was shocked. So maybe like an extra. Oh, we're getting flooded here, huh? Fury unleashed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Huh? One more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So we're just gonna go with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna go with 6.5. So obviously I'm shocking him more often than not. It's only a 25% less chance, but I'm on a lightning build, so I probably get an extra like 50 million chance on top of that just because. But you get a 25% less chance, but the duration of the shock is longer. And like I mentioned, this skill has a shocking bolt that it sends at the end of the combo, so that the skill itself probably has a higher chance of shock too. Leverage is going to give you a 50% increased crit chance against immobilized enemies. So any enemy that you immobilize, which you can use by building up pin. Pin works because pin damage causes enemies to be immobilized. And when they're immobilized, you have a 50% extra crit chance.
Back off.
So we got Life Drain, which gives you 12% of life over 4 seconds after you cull an enemy. So I got on Killing Palm on the Monk. And we're going to call somebody, get low, call somebody, see how fast it goes up. Okay, nice. We're kind of low. Oh, wait. Let's not die. Boom. Cool. It's going up. It's going up. And I think it's slowed up now. I think. Yeah, it slowed up a bit. All right, well, there you have it. Life Drain. Thunder! Get off me. So Life Tap converts your mana cost into life cost, making it take it from your health pool instead of your mana pool. So something like Hypothermia Curse. I do it, and it takes my mana. Switch it over with Life Tap, and now it takes life. Lightning Infusion is going to have the same premise as the other two, Fire and Cold Infusion. It's going to give your attacks 25% damage as extra lightning damage, but nerf your cold and fire damage by 50%. So I threw this on Frozen Locust, which is going to deal cold damage and it'll do some lightning damage. It's up to you how you want to use this skill. You can either buff something that does lightning damage and have it do even more lightning damage, or you can go hybrid and have it deal a little bit of both. I think that's lightning. See? Nice. It applied lightning and freeze. So I'll put this on my Glacial Cascade.
I will feast on your soul.
And you can kind of see the lightning being inflicted. There we go. You see the lightning there? You can see he just got shocked. So like I said before, you can throw this on to deal 2 elements, a little bit of cold and lightning, or just buff your lightning damage. But it's up to you to build into that. Lockdown is a support gem that supports any skill that hits enemies, causing 120% more pin buildup against enemies that are closer to you, within 2 meters, and it scales to no chance of pinning enemies at 12 meters. So the closer an enemy is to you, the more pin buildup against that enemy. And the farther they are, up to 12 meters, you have essentially no chance to pin them. So I put this on my Witch Bone skill, which already causes pin, and it actually doesn't allow me to cast it farther away. I can only cast it right on my body. So it actually works really well with lockdown, because if enemies are pushing me, then I cast the bone skill and they have a really high chance to get pinned. Obviously with like bosses and higher enemies, it's going to be harder for them to get pinned. My bone skill on my witch already has some pin build up, so it's gonna still pin enemies regardless, there's a chance to always pin them, but this is just going to make it even more of a chance that they get pinned with this support gem. So Magnified Effect just makes your supported skills have a 40% more area of effect, so bigger AoE. Actually, I'll show it without it and then with it. So let's get our Tempest Bell real quick. So that's with it. Without it, I mean. And this is with it. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, for sure. All right. Martial Tempo. Pretty simple. 25% more attack speed. Simple enough. All right, this one is an easy one. Meat Shield makes your minions deal 35% less damage, but they have 50% more max life. Pretty simple. That's it. So Minion Instability makes it so your minions explode when their health gets low, and they deal 15% of their max life as fire damage to surrounding enemies. And a low life is considered 35% of their max life or less. So we're gonna throw this on the Skeletal Warrior and see them explode. Oh wow. And he's, let's see. That other one got blooped. Oh, fire. No pun intended. Minion Pact supports minion skills, obviously. And what it does is that you put this on a skill, and whenever you use that skill, it will remove 100% of your maximum life from a nearby minion. So you can see my life in the bottom left corner. I'm going to put this on this Chaos Drain skill, and whenever I use it, you'll see that the minion's health gets lowered when I cast it, but I do get 40% more damage. And so I'm going to try and send my minions away for this boss fight and hit them with the Chaos Drain just to see how much damage it does without the Minion Pact, and then compare it to when I do put the Minion Pact on and to see how the 40% more damage looks. Obviously my minions are going to come running back and deal damage to her, so it's going to be really hard to showcase it without the minions doing damage. I have to have the minions on in order to show the health drain too, but obviously you get the premise. You take health from your minion, max of your own health, and you give it, and then you get 40% more damage with that skill. Also, if your minion doesn't have enough health to take your maximum health, it won't work. So you have to make sure that your minions have a lot of health. So if you're scaling a lot of health for yourself, you got to make sure your minions have just as much health, or else the skill won't work because it can't take the full max amount of health. Murderous Intent is a support gem that causes the skills that get empowered to cull enemies. So you put this support gem on a skill that empowers something, and whatever gets empowered should be able to cull enemies, meaning kill them once they get to a certain life threshold, 30% or below. So I'm going to use this War Cry to power my next melee attack, and my basic attack should be able to Cull Strike.
A few moments later.
Okay, alright, he's in culling range. Finally. Now let's War Cry. And our next skill should cover. There we go. I think it worked. It worked. He's dead. I'm taking that. Overabundance allows you to have a +1 to any skill that has a limit. So this skill limits 1 Orb of Storm. So if I put this on, I should be able to have 2 active at once. But it does make your skill effect duration get cut in half. So you're allowed to have more active at once, but it stays active for less time. So this has a duration of 10 seconds, and it should go down to 5 seconds. I have to put it on, though. Okay. So now I can cast 2. But it's not going to be active as long. And then I take it out. And I can only cast 1. But it stays for longer. Overpower is going to support skills causing them to do 50% more stun buildup. So I'm going to put this on my Siphoning Strike because it already has 50% more buildup. So you can see the 50% base and then with the extra 50% on top with the support gem. Okay. Boom. That's 50%. It's a little small because it's on the boss. But let's see if I can put on this Overpower and see if it's better. It's definitely better per hit. 100% more better. Clearly. Stunned way faster. At first it was like little tiny chunks. Then it definitely got bigger. All right. Perpetual Charge. This gives our skills a 35% chance to not remove a charge, but still count as if we still use them. Got 1. Let's see here. Nope, took him. All right, got 1. All right. Got 1. That 35 chance is, all right, got 2. Still got 2. 6. Awesome. There we go. Persistence, which gives my skills a longer duration, 40% more skill effect duration. So this Tempest Bell has 6 seconds. What is 40% of 6 seconds? Let's find out. Extra 2.4 seconds. So that's 6, 7, 8.4. So it should go to 8.4 seconds. I don't know what's the 0.4 of a second, but let's just go with 8 seconds. Let's see. Oh, I need to build up charges first to use it. 1 sec. What is she talking about? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, almost 9. Almost 9. So yeah, extra duration. Simple enough. All right, so Pierce allows your projectiles to pierce an enemy. And piercing an enemy is just making it so that the projectile can pass through them, which is good for if you're trying to hit like mobs, you can hit through and hit multiple people with like 1 projectile. So I would rather get a mob to show you. But just on him, you can probably see the arrow.
Headshot.
Well, he's dead. Yeah, let's see. Let's try to shoot it through these guys. I think it's working. There you go. Oh, even these 2 guys. Follow me on the bridge. Let's get a 2 for 1. Boom. See, he got knocked back, but he didn't die. So it just allows it to go through an enemy, but it also does less damage. So when I hit them once, it pierces them. But when I hit them with again, it does 30% less damage if I've just pierced them. This is incorrect. As you can see, it says projectiles deal less damage if they've pierced an enemy, which explains why the second big guy did not die, because my arrow pierced the first guy, killed him, and therefore deals less damage now and did not kill the second guy. I misunderstood what they were saying, so it's saying the 1 projectile, if they already pierced an enemy, then any further enemies are going to have less damage dealt to them by that same arrow that pierced. Okay? Bye. Pin is a support gem that does not cause stun buildup anymore, but instead replaces that stun buildup with pinning. So with my Siphoning Strike, that causes 50% more stun buildup. I will not be able to stun anymore with this, but instead I should be able to pin an enemy with this ability now. because it causes all physical damage to pin enemies, but makes it unable to stun anymore. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, snap. Is she pinned? She is. It showed the icon. So when you pin someone, it basically immobilizes them, making them unable to move. So when you build enough of it up, they just stay in one place. Look, man's just stuck there. That's actually really cool. These guys chasing me. Look, stunned. Stunned. That's cool. So it replaces your stun build-up with pin build-up. Nice. Precision is a support gem for spirit gems, not skill gems. So it's going to take 10 spirit for you to use this. But you put it on persistent buff skills, and while that buff is active, you get 30% increased accuracy rating. So it's not really viable for me to test or show that because there's no accuracy rating in the character sheet, so I can't show like it actually increasing or whatever. But your accuracy rating is just your ability to hit enemies based on the enemy's evasion rating. So if an enemy has a high evasion rating, your accuracy, it determines the chance of you hitting them better. So with this on, you get 30% increased accuracy rating while the persistent buff skill is active. It costs 10 spirit. It's only for spirit gems. And yeah. Premeditation is going to support skills that can empower, causing the skills that they empower to deal an extra 15% more damage. So I'm going to throw on this War Cry, which is going to empower my next melee attack. And we're going to see how much that does without the support gem and then with it. Maybe we should get his health down. His shield down. Okay. Empower. Boom. Then hit him. Boom. They're 431. 431 damage. Then, oh my goodness. Put this on. Excuse me. Pardon me. Empower. Smack. 640. There we go. Wow. So it went from like 400 to 600. Awesome. Can I make a portal? Y'all gonna let me make a portal? Appreciate it. I don't know if that's like a perfect damage example because there's so much involved with like how much damage I do and critting and all of that stuff, but the gist of the support gem is that any skill that empowers another skill will get an extra 15% more damage when you put the support gem on it. So it just empowers your skills further with the support gem. All right, Perfusion. Supported skills that generate charges gives them a 50% chance to grant an additional charge. So I have on Killing Palm that gives me 1 power charge, and this skill gem is going to give me a 50% chance to give me another one when I kill someone with it. All right, that one just gave me 1. There we go. I got 2. Nice. Rage is going to grant you 3 rage on melee hit. So rage is something that builds up 1% more attack damage per rage gained to a maximum of 30. So every time you hit with the melee, you get 1 stack of rage, giving you more attack damage up to a maximum of 30 stacks of rage. But you lose rage every 0.1 seconds if you have not taken damage or gained any rage in the last 2 seconds. So rage goes away pretty fast, but you build it up by hitting melees and you get more damage. The more you keep it up, the more you build it up. And only 1 hit every 0.5 seconds can cause you to gain rage. Right. So we're going to build up the rage with our Tempest Flurry. And you can actually see it like this red aura around you the more you stack it up. So the more you hit with your melee, the more damage you get, essentially. With the melee character, at least. So we're going to try to get us a nice fat mob going. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go. So there you see I'm red. That's the rage. And then you can see at the top right. I think I'm at 30 stacks already. So I'm at the max stacks you can have. But I lose it. Look, it goes away really fast. So if you're not in the fight, smacking around with your melee, you lose the rage pretty quickly after 2 seconds of not gaining it or taking any damage. So, yeah. It's best for like if you in there just smacking around for sure. Ruthless is going to cause every 5th use of the supported attack to cause 500% more stun buildup. So it's just going to be more effective at stunning enemies. So let's see if we can get the stun off after hitting them with 5 attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it built up. You see the stun meter went up on that 5th attack. 3, 4, 5. Boom. It went up again. So it's going to take a little while if you're not built into stun a little bit. 4, 5. Boom. And it shoots up. Uh-oh. 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 Move! But I think you get the gist. Every 5th attack, you get a 500% boost in stun build-up. So it helps to put this joint on something that already builds up stun, especially if you're speccing into stun. Boom, got the stun. You're dead, bruh. So Scattershot adds 2 additional projectiles to supported skills. It also does 20% less damage and has 20% less attack and cast speed. So this lightning rod only shoots 1 lightning rod. I put the Scattershot on, and now it'll shoot 3, but it'll shoot slower and do less damage. Okay, so with Second Wind, skills get 50% less cooldown recovery rate, but you get twice as many cooldown uses. So basically, as you see down here, I have 2 frost bombs, meaning that I can have 2 that I can cast back to back, but my cooldown recovery will be slower. So it just takes a little bit longer for me to get another one. Whereas without it on, I only get 1, but the cooldown is much faster. Yeah. Spell Cascade makes it so a spell casts 3 times in any direction. So you can't control which way it goes, but it casts 3 times in a line. So Ice Nova is a 1 regular AoE, but when I put Spell Cascade on it, it's going to cast 3 AoE along any direction. So you have no control over which axis it casts. And the AoE is smaller. And it deals 30% less damage. So that's the caveat. Stomping Ground supports travel skills, meaning skills where you travel from one place to another. And it's going to trigger a Shockwave every time you take a step while using that supported skill. So I put this on the shield charge. And without this support gem, it looks like this. But with the support gem, it looks like this. Shockwaves, which is really cool, actually. I am unable. Swift Affliction supports skills by dealing 35% more non-ailment damage over time. It also makes your skills have 20% less duration, and the damaging ailments they inflict to have 20% less duration. So an ailment would be bleeding, ignite, chill, freeze, shock, electrocute, and poison. So this support gem would be really good for chaos damaging skills or physical damage over time because they are non-ailments. They don't include anything in this category. So your chaos damage would deal 35% more damage over time, but it'll have a shorter duration. So I would recommend using this with chaos damage or something that does physical damage over time and not anything in this list because it won't work. It's for non-ailment damage, which all of these are ailments. So definitely chaos or physical damage for this support gem. Unbreakable is going to make it so that whatever skill you put this on has 200% more stun threshold. So you're going to be harder to stun while using whatever skill you put this support gem on. All right, this one is a doozy. Unleash has a lot going on here. Supported spells gain a seal every 200% of cast time to a maximum of 2 seals. So this has a 1.2 second cast time. 200% of 1.2 second is double that. So it's going to take 2.4 seconds to gain 1 seal. Maximum of 2 seals. And then when you cast them, the spell is unsealed. And for every seal that you lose, the effects reoccur. So this regular freezing shard, that's 1 time. If I put this on, it's going to build up charges. It's going to take a while, 200% of my cast time. But once I get 2, which is the max, for every seal lost, it's going to reoccur another time. So it casts 1 time, and then 2 seals, that's another 2 times, 3 in total. So we cast it, that's 3 times. And then it has to regenerate the seals again 3 times. And also, it does 50% less damage when reoccurring. So I believe the first shot does regular damage, but the 2 that does it with the reoccur is going to do 50% less damage. So Vitality supports persistent buff skills, giving you 1% of life per second while the buff is active. So I put it on my Arctic armor, and we're going to see if I get 1% life per second. But it's going up for sure. So let me take it off and see how much it goes up. It's going down. It's definitely slower. It's definitely slower without it on. Okay, so Wind Wave is going to trigger a Wind Wave when you get stunned while using whatever ability you put this support gem on. If you get stunned while using that ability, it'll trigger a Wind Wave that'll knock back enemies when you get stunned while using it. All right, so Window of Opportunity gives supported skills a shorter, 25% shorter perfect timing window, but they deal 50% more damage when you do release it with the perfect timing. So basically, it gives you a smaller window to hit it at the right time, but you get more damage if you hit it. So I have on Snipe, which has a perfect timing window, and it's very forgiving, kind of, if you time it right. But this will shorten the window and make it harder to hit it, but you'll hit the damage. You'll hit more damage when you do hit it. So risk versus reward type of thing. Also, just a side note, this window of opportunity will only work on skills that have a perfect timing window or the ability to time it perfectly. So Withering Touch is going to support any skill that hits enemies, giving it a chance to wither enemies on hit. Now Wither applies 5% increase in chaos damage taken, and it can be inflicted up to 10 times. So you can put this on anything that hits, and it has a chance to inflict the wither. But if you put it on something that applies chaos damage, then it will wither with whatever you put it on. So if I take off this bow and I put on this wand that has a level 1 chaos bolt, and then put on Withering Touch, then it'll apply wither automatically, like that. And it even has a little purple ball that floats around them too. And it only lasts for 4 seconds. And whatever you put it on deals 50% less damage. But if I put the bow back on and then put it Withering Touch on, it doesn't apply automatically. It just has a chance to. And so it's not as guaranteed to apply the Wither.